Welcome back, everybody. We're diving into the Premier League today.
Oh, yeah.
And we're looking at two teams that are, I guess, exceeding expectations right now.
Absolutely.
AFC Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest. These aren't just A and Y teams having a good run.
Right.
There's something really intriguing here, especially if you're a data-minded soccer fan.
Absolutely. And it is quite incredible, especially if you look at Nottingham Forest, right?
Yeah.
They haven't had success I mean, you're talking decades.
Right.
And they are...
Like, this is a different
performance
era for them.
Yeah.
And they're doing it in kind of an interesting way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's start with Bournemouth.
Okay.
They are on a 10-match unbeaten streak.
Wow.
Okay, so that puts them statistically in the same conversation as, like, Liverpool, Arsenal.
It does, yeah.
But here's where things get a little interesting.
Okay.
Their home games.
Right.
They haven't been these high-scoring affairs. They're averaging only 1 goal per game at home.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's interesting because they're not blowing teams out at their home ground, but they're also not losing.
Yeah.
So there must be something in the way that they're approaching their home games.
What's the secret sauce? Like, what do you see as maybe a tactical approach?
Well, they must be prioritizing their defense over just attacking all the time.
Right.
They know that the crowd at home gives them that psychological edge.
Sure.
So I guess they're willing to grind out those results.
Yeah. And I wonder, too, if the opposing teams feel that when they walk into
absolutely.
Bournemouth, like, uh-oh, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, you have to consider that they've also had a very good track record against Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, I was just going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
Because they haven't lost to them since 2015.
Yeah, and at home, 2014.
That's even longer. So that's got to be in your head.
Oh,
absolutely. If you're Nottingham Forest stepping onto the pitch.
Yeah.
And yet here they are, sitting in third place.
Crazy.
So how do they manage to stay competitive, even with, these kind of...
Well, this is where their defense comes in, right?
Yeah.
Their defense has been absolutely incredible this season.
Yeah.
They've only conceded 9 goals in their last 10 league matches, and, that's what's been fueling their success.
So what is it tactically? Is there something, or is it just like...
I think it's... Well, you got to look at their manager.
Yeah.
He has instilled a sense of discipline in that team, right?
Yeah.
It's a cohesive unit.
It's not just one star player.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're hard to break down.
Do you think that that's sustainable over a whole season? Or do you think...
Well, that's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
But right now, they're really exceeding expectations.
Let's look back a little. I mean, they haven't qualified for European competition since the 95-96 season.
Yeah.
Could they be on track for a run like that this season, potentially?
Well, I mean, you look at the 88-89 season.
Right. That was the last time they won 5 consecutive away fixtures in the top flight.
Wow.
And that season, they finished 3rd.
So you're seeing some parallels here.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's funny, too, because the only 2 teams that finished above Forest in 88-89 were Arsenal and Liverpool.
Wow.
The same 2 teams that Bournemouth's matching with their unbeaten streaks right now.
So are we looking at history repeating itself?
It makes you wonder, right?
It really does.
Okay, but we're talking history. Let's bring it back to the present.
Okay.
Let's talk players. Like, who are the players that are shaping these narratives right now?
Right.
On the Bournemouth side, I mean, you got to look at Justin Kluivert.
Oh, absolutely. That hat-trick against Newcastle.
It was phenomenal.
To us.
10 goals in the Premier League so far this season.
Yeah, putting him in some pretty elite company.
Yeah, absolutely.
The interesting thing is he's only scored 1 goal at home this season.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so which Kluivert are we going to see, right?
Right.
The guy that scores a lot away. Yeah, the way.
Or the one who is relatively quiet at home.
Right. Okay, so then on the Forest side, Chris Wood, I mean, he's also someone to keep an eye on.
Oh, absolutely.
He's scored in each of his last 4 league games.
And all 4 of those before halftime.
So he likes that early.
Yeah, he comes out of the gates strong.
Intensity.
Yeah.
And speaking of strong starts, I mean, you can't ignore this stat, right?
Yeah, first half defense.
Nottingham Forest has the best first half defensive record.
In the league.
In the league.
Only 8 goals conceded before halftime.
So they're tough to break down early.
Yeah. So for all of our listeners out there, I mean, it kind of comes down to this, right?
Yeah.
Can Nottingham Forest keep up this incredible defensive performance?
All right.
Can they make a serious run at European qualification?
Yeah. I mean, is that possible?
Or is Bournemouth going to use that home advantage and the history they have against them to kind of break that momentum.
Well, you got Bournemouth's resilience going up against that wall. That is Forest's defense.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And given how few goals Bournemouth scores at home and how good Forest's defense is, I think we might be in for a low-scoring game.
All right, well, that's all the insights we have for you today.
Yeah.
But we always want to hear from you.
Absolutely.
So what do you think? What are your predictions for this match?
Yeah, let us know.
Share your thoughts, and let's keep this conversation going.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Sounds good.